Hey everybody! Thanks for joining me again with Expanding Your Mind, Body, and Spirit. I'm Tasha, the host of the channel, and I just wanted to take a moment to follow up on our last video on setting intentions and see how it was going for you this week. I know for myself, I started out strong and, kind of had a moment last night and this morning, and I guess remembering, the old adage that it's a journey, not a destination, and it's a process, and you're gonna have ebbs and flows, and as life changes and throws different things at you, and I guess that's what brought me here again tonight to share with you. I hope it's going great for you so far this week, and if it's not, that's okay too. You can start again tomorrow and think about your intention tonight, and set out tomorrow to do whatever your intention may be. Even this morning I was having a hard time getting going, and it was pretty awesome. There's this little local coffee shop next to our office at work, the Copper House in Stanwood, and it's just so cute, and all the little happy, joyous things in there. I went to get a tea this morning, and I thought, I'm gonna get myself something I enjoy and just enjoy it and continue on my day, and I just love it. They just had little spots of joy when I went in there, and I thought one thing was really fitting for the whole setting intentions, and how some moments are like, oh, and some moments you were like, yes, so it's kind of like that. It's funny, they had this sign and it said, some days I amaze myself, and then some days I put my keys in the fridge. And that's just so fitting. We are all gonna have moments like that. So I hope you take those moments to just laugh at yourself, or think, you know what, okay, I'm gonna get it better next time, and just move onward and upward. Even if you do the littlest thing today or yesterday to move forward, remember, all those little moments will add up. I just want to take a moment. I know there's been a lot of comments about worldly events, and a lot of things on social media, and so I thought I'd take a moment tonight. Also, regardless of what's happening in the world, sometimes we all are dealing with different stressors or things like that we tend to absorb. And maybe we're feeling great, but then sometimes we hear all this outside negativity and turmoil and stuff, and it can get to you, especially if you are an empath type person. You really tend to absorb these issues or these ill feelings that aren't even yours. And so I would encourage you, for your own inner peace, to maybe shut that stuff out, turn it off, or maybe you like to be current and listen to that. That's okay, that's your choice. But also take a moment, and if it brings up ill feelings, things like that, that can interrupt your own progress and your own path, maybe think about those and think, is what I'm feeling, are those my emotions, or do those belong to someone else? And if they're not yours, let them go. I know it's harder said than done. a good friend of mine, Vita. She is an energetic healer, and she helped me in dealing with those moments where I may be taking on those feelings of others, and kind of visualize yourself letting it go, closing your eyes. And what she was teaching me is imagining something such as a damask rose, this big, white, beautiful rose, and imagine all of that energy flowing to this big, beautiful flower right in your mind, and then just watching it crumble and float away. All the ash, it just falls and floats away, and letting it go, watching it. And if you have a hard time visualizing it, just try it again. Take a nice deep breath in and visualize all that negativity surrounding that rose, and just watching it flutter away. Taking a moment to calm yourself, taking those breaths, and again, visualizing. Sometimes it is so good to just take a moment and breathe. And I have heard that your brain doesn't know the difference between visualizing something that is actually happening, or a place that you're in, or versus what you're visualizing in your mind. So if you can just take that and put it all in your mind, and watching it dissipate, disappear, float away. Imagine what that will do for you. I don't know. It helps me, and maybe that can help you. I wanted to talk a little bit about actually a yoga posture, an asana, that is very good for shutting out outside stimuli. So it's also a great pose for if you are in a yoga practice and maybe they're doing something that's just not quite comfortable for you, or maybe you just need to take a break. It's a great pose to get into and just take a moment and recenter yourself and take a rest. Most of you know it as child's pose, also known as Garbhasana, the Sanskrit name. And so what you want to do is either knees together, or you can do knees apart and your toes together still, and then sitting back on your heels. As you can see, I'm still in my work clothes. Honestly, I feel sometimes at work this would be a good thing to just stop and do. You can think this is a good resting point for if you're in the middle of a yoga class, or maybe you just need a breather. You need to check out from those around you or what's happening around you. This would be a good thing to do. So as you're sitting on your heels, you're going to want to come down to the floor, palms spread in front of you, hands reaching out, and then your forehead to the mat. Keeping those hips low. If you can keep them on your heels, that's great. If not, just the idea is to keep your hips as low as possible and eventually working down to the tops of your heels. So you're going in that general direction. And from here, just breathe. Nice big breaths. Another tip, if you can't get your forehead, if that's not comfortable doing your forehead to the mat, you can also go like this, do 2 fists, or if you have a yoga block, you can do that, or even like this. So either way works. So go ahead and just lay down on the floor and breathe, and I'll share a little bit with you. This is a great pose to, like I said, shut out outside stimuli. So sometimes when we think of yoga, we think of movements, right? We think of all the different postures and things like that. But yoga was actually created about 8,000 years ago during Vedic times. And about 2,000 years ago, a man by the name of Patanjali took all those Vedic writings and created, I believe it was 196 different threads of wisdom, and which we know as the 8 limbs of yoga. And so the idea in creating these was really to help people come to a higher level of consciousness. And that was the main kind of goal of yoga. So this posture here is great for helping you achieve that. It's a great resting posture. It is great on your hips. It also, like I said, is very relaxing, helps calm and soothe by shutting out the outside stimuli. So go ahead and when you're ready, go ahead and walk yourself back up. And then let's go ahead and shoulders up, back and down. Nice, tall posture, as if a string is pulling you from the top of your head as we move it back into a seated position. So that is child's pose or Garbhasana, a little something to help you get through whatever you need, or if you need to take a breather, maybe you want to take a rest from your yoga practice or your workout, or maybe you need to take a rest from the people around you or life. It's a good way to do it. So just take time out for you and time out from the rest of the chaos of the world. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will check back with you in a few days, and we'll maybe share a yoga session next time I see you again. Thank you so much for joining me as we continue on this journey together. Have a great night.